Well, hello. Here we go again. We're on day 2 of our nesting baskets workshop. We were dancing behind the scenes.
It's a good thing they couldn't see it.
Yes, it is. So if you joined us yesterday, what was your biggest takeaway? Let us know what it's something maybe you learned. Maybe you're new to hoop shape. Also loved seeing what everyone was going to do with these nesting baskets. Did you guys see the woman who posted, I forget your name, the tags? She made her luggage, her free gift luggage tags already. And they were Christmas fabrics.
Yeah, they were very cute.
They were really cute.
I imagine she's probably going to use those for Christmas gifts and stuff like that. So,
yep, adorable. Well, so yesterday was day 1. Today is day 2.
Yeah.
And we've got Lynda Remmers back, our co-founder in Illinois. Hi, Lynda. And then we also have our other co-founder, Annie, here in Ohio. So we're dividing and conquering. What do you got for us today?
Well, today I'm going to stitch a 1, which means nothing to you guys unless I show it to you. So let me just take my little nesting basket apart so I can show you. So here is a basket. I took this end apart. We are going to be stitching one of these. There are 4 of these. They each have a slightly, they're all shaped the same, but the quilting is different. And where the little notch is kind of cut out. So I'm going to be stitching one of the 4 of those. I'm going to be showing you how to finish it. And then Lynda's going to come on. And Lynda, what are you going to do? Lynda, what are you going to be doing after I'm finished?
Oh, I'm so sorry. There's quite a delay, so I didn't hear you right away. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about hoop shape and how to cut it out because there were some questions yesterday about sewing it together like we do battleizer. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to assemble the bottom of your basket. So I'll show how to do that. This would be the bottom and the sides of the nesting basket. And we're also going to talk about getting the lining ready to go. So that's what I'm going to do.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, if anyone has questions, post them, and we're going to be moving over to the sewing machine where we're going to be stitching one of the slotted blocks. So everybody saying what their takeaway is? Any input?
Well, I did notice Lois said the tags were hers, and she's on YouTube right now. So thank you for posting your beautiful luggage tags and joining us for day 2. So we know Lois is all set. She's good to go. Sandra says she has a question. The template you did yesterday, is that the same template for all sizes? Are you talking about the handle?
No, the templates that Lynda has templates in one of the screens that you can see there. Hopefully they can see all 4 screens right now. Lynda's holding up one of the templates. There's small, medium, and large baskets. So the templates are going to be different sizes. So, and maybe when I get done sewing this out, maybe that's something that Lynda can talk a little bit more about.
And Diane says she plans to use her baskets to display at craft fairs. That's an awesome idea. Baskets for gifting, for sure. So lots of fun ideas there. And someone on Facebook says they ordered yesterday. They can't wait to start. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this. All right, Sarah, are we ready over there?
All right. Okay, so like I mentioned, we are going to be stitching. This is one of those slotted blocks. I think it was A1. I'm not sure. Let's just call it A1. Nobody will know the difference. But what you need to do first, you need to gather all your supplies. You're going to need a fabric glue. I didn't have any fabric glue, but I have used the Elmer's in the past. And it works perfectly fine as well. Lynda probably has a better glue that she can show you later as well. You will need thread that matches your fabric and also a bobbin. You'll need your hoop shape all cut out. And you'll need 2 pieces of fabric. And we tell you the sizes and the instructions based on whether you're doing large, medium, or small. And of course, you're going to also need your hoop scissors. So currently, I have already done step 1. And step 1 is sewing your, it's a placement stitch on top your tearaway stabilizer. So the first thing you do, you hoop your tearaway stabilizer. I have embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin. And I have, you're supposed to use water soluble thread. I'm just going to use 1 thread all the way through to save a little time and also so that you can see it. So step 1 is just basically to stitch out that pattern. And as you can see on the pattern right down in this area right here, there's a little bit of a gap. And basically, we mentioned it a little bit yesterday. That's basically, since that's about the thickness of your hoop shape. And that is because this is where it needs to bend once it's all put together. So that bending right there, that's what that little gap is for, to make it bend easily. And I'm going to bring my hoop forward a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this glue. You can put it either on your stabilizer, or you can just put a little bit of the glue on your hoop shape on the back side. And this is especially helpful if you're doing multiple blocks like this in the hoop. As it jumps from one to the other, you won't have to worry about that moving. And then I'm going to line the hoop shape up with the top of the stitching and also inside here, and just make sure it lines up great nicely with my placement stitch. And now we can sew. Basically what we're going to sew, oh, I need to jump ahead a stitch, sorry, I did it earlier. So now it's going to do a zigzag to hold that hoop shape in place. It's also going to do a zigzag just to hold the hoop shape in place around where those slots are. I'm going to, at the bottom here, you can't see it because it's off camera, but I'm just going to do a little trim with my Hoop Scissors Mini on that hoop shape. And now what we're going to do is you're going to take your hoop off the machine, and I'm going to turn it upside down. It's going to be kind of hard for me to show you this, so hold on for just a second. And now basically you're going to take your backing fabric and you're going to center it over the top of this. And I know when we use our battleizer, it tends to cling to it and we don't really need to worry about it. But on that tearaway stabilizer, it is not going to cling very well. So I'm going to dab a little glue. I'm going to first place it where I want it to go. I'm not going to push through and dab it on the stabilizer because I don't want to risk it popping out of the hoop. But I'm just going to center it the best I can and then just peek underneath in all these different areas. And when I got it where I wanted, I'm just going to do a little dab of glue in the corners because I am going to have to flip this upside down and I don't want gravity to make my fabric go where it doesn't need to go. I want it to stay right in place. Okay, and just make sure it's on there secure. And then I can take my hoop and I'm going to flip it so that is right side up again. And that fabric is on the bottom. And you can kind of see through the stabilizer to make sure that it didn't go in some place where it doesn't need to go. And now that I have my hoop on, I'm going to take the fabric for the front and I'm going to place that and center it just like I did the backing fabric. You don't need to have any glue, but if you want to add a little glue to it, you certainly can. And this is nice because you can kind of see the little hump where the hoop shape is, so you can tell you have it centered real nicely. Now, the directions call for a water-soluble thread for this step, but again, to save time, and so you can see what the machine does, I'm just using a colored thread. And it's going to stitch a tack down. And I'm just going to make sure that the fabric stays in place and we don't have any puckers at the very end.
Paula on YouTube said that our instructions are the best.
Oh, that's awesome. What I love about this design is the fact that we have those videos on those QR codes. Then all you got to do is just open your camera, just point it at the QR code, and you'll see a YouTube link pop up, and then you can go right to the video on YouTube. And I hadn't done this block in a while, so I went and I reviewed the video before doing this, and Lynda does a great job on that video showing us how to do this.
I just posted a zipper pouch bonus how-to video in the group today too. Hi Pat, yes we can see you. Thanks for joining. Mary Jo from East Tennessee. We love Tennessee. Said she ordered it yesterday and can't wait to get started. We got Sandy from Tennessee too.
Nice. All right. So the next step after it does this is it's going to do the quilting. So I already have my quilting thread in the needle, but I do not have it in the bobbin. And since we already have our backing fabric on there, we do need to change out the bobbin. So I'm just matching my bobbin thread with my needle thread. All right, so now we can just begin sewing the quilting. And again, I do want to elaborate that you need to make sure that you mark in the seam allowance or on the stabilizer, which by the way will ultimately be torn away. But you do need to mark what block it is that you stitched. It's very important when assembling it because all those quilting, we digitize it so that it all matches up.
How fast does your machine go? I'm scared to go too fast.
There, I just turned up the speed. I think after a while you get to know your machine and you get to know how fast you can run something. But I usually will run it full speed ahead. I didn't realize it was on there so slow. But if you're running it at top speed and it's doing great, then you are all set to go. All right, I'm going to take the hoop off the machine. And the next step that we're going to do is it's going to sew a satin stitch around here, around the slots. But before it does that, we need to find my seam ripper. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to pull it out even more.
The one time you want to use your seam ripper.
I know. This is the only time I really want my seam ripper. So we need to, our first thing I'm going to do is that you take something sharp. Obviously, seam ripper is the best thing. Poke it in there. And then just kind of like you would a buttonhole. Just open it up like that. And you could go all the way down if you wanted to. You could just do a little bitty hole if you wanted to. And then you're going to take your hoop scissors mini. And you're going to pull this up and you're going to cut right close to that stitching. And again, that stitching went around there 2 times, which is very helpful, just in case. Trying to let you guys have a camera angle and you cut close to stitching. This is going to be good. But you're just going to cut down both sides and at the ends. If you wanted to, you could cut through one piece of fabric at a time on the front and the back and tear the stabilizer out. But I think your hoop scissor mini will cut right through all that perfectly and still get nice and close. Okay. Then when you get to the end, just pull it up and cut that. I have to turn it to get the right angle to get the other side.
Sandra's asking, what did you use to cover and preserve the templates? And we'll let Lynda answer that when Lynda comes back on shortly. Okay, Sandra?
If Lynda's like me, I'm going to have to start writing down things that you need to talk about, because if I go to the grocery store with 3 things, I need to write it down. I'm going to forget about them. Okay, I'm just going to cut a little bit closer right down here.
Barb said she loves the double stitching barrier. That's for
I
sure.
know that is definitely important. I am going to see, just to speed things up. I think it's going to start with the slot on this side, and if it does, I'll come back to this and do it later. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now if you were going to do this, you would also cut this slot open, but I'm just going to let this start stitching so you can see what it's going to do. And it's just going to do a satin stitch all around the outside edge. So it'll do your underlay first, and then it'll go ahead and do the satin stitches. And it makes a really, really super nice finish for that slot. And I do see just a couple little fringes flying out here. If you want to stop the machine, if you see that, and just trim those off, you can do that. Okay, so you can kind of see, and I'll take you to one that's finished, is that it's going to continue to do the satin stitch all around that, and then it'll jump to this one. So I'm going to go to the cutting table. I'll let Aubrey talk to you about a few things in the meantime, and I'll meet you at the cutting table when she's finished.
Okay, so I do want to point out, this is a slide that I forgot to talk about yesterday, but we do have shops who already have this in store. So here's our nesting basket shops. I also did post this in the VIP Facebook group, so it's in there as well. But just wanted to give these shops a shout out. They do have everything, including the bonus, the free gift, all that good stuff. So give them a call if you are in these specific areas. And then I do want to just pop up the sizing information again. I'm not going to read through this just for time's sake, but if you're curious about that, those are the details there. We did also post yesterday the fabric information. So fabric requirements are posted in the VIP Facebook group as well. And just a quick reminder, the minimum hoop size for this project is 4 inches by 7.25 inches. All right, you ready over there?
I am ready to roll. Okay, so here is a completed block. Isn't that amazing how quickly that's stitched out? I'm joking, of course. Yep. So once you take it out of the block, make sure that you mark what block it is right inside where the seam allowance is. I will tell you to, I'll talk about it in a minute because I might end up cutting that away. So you're going to take your stabilizer and you're going to tear it away. You can see if you glued the back, it just easily comes loose. Because I actually did this yesterday, but it does come loose nicely. So just tear away your stabilizer on all the sides. Still have a little left stuck in there. And I did multiple hoops, so I had to write on my stabilizer as I did it so I wouldn't get mixed up. Okay, so now one thing I wanted to show you as well is that I had mentioned that I had written the block number there. This fabric will end up being cut away, so you will need to write what block it is on the back. You can tell which is the front because it's a little bit puffier, and the back where the tearaway stabilizer is up against the fabric, it's a little bit flatter. So this is our front. So you'll need to lay this down on your cutting table with your angled side towards the front, towards the top. And then this is your bottom piece that's going to be stitched to something else. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to trim this bottom side 1/4 inch from the basting stitch. So I'm just going to turn this and I'll use the ruler side of my trimmer by George. And I will match it up with the 1/4 inch base with the basting stitch, 1/4 inch away from it. And then I'll just go ahead and trim this away. So now we have our other 3 or actually 4 sides to trim. Now those who are used to doing our quilt blocks, it's going to be slightly different. And watching the video is highly recommended, and then stopping it as you go and doing what the video says is extremely helpful. In this case, with this particular project, we want our fabric on the front trimmed right up to where that basting stitch is. So in order to do that using the trimmer by George, this is the front of my block. I'm going to put that face down so that I'm looking at the back. That way I can pull my backing fabric away, exposing the fabric on the front, and that's what we're going to get rid of. So we are going to just take our trimmer by George. We're going to shimmy that up there. Give it a gentle but not too hard of a tug. Make sure there's nothing showing there, and then you can use your 60mm rotary cutter to trim that fabric from the front away right up to the basting stitch. And we're going to do that on all these sides. And again, my front of it is on the cutting board, facing the cutting board. And this is the back of this section of this block. And I'm cutting the fabric on the front away. It's backwards, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So again, that's why I recommend watching that video and stopping and doing what the video says. A little chunk of stabilizer there. Pull my fabric that is actually the backing away and put your trimmer by George metal edge there. This exposes the fabric from the front, and we're cutting that fabric away. Okay, so here is our block. the back. Here's the front, and you can see how we've cut that pretty close to that basting stitch. Now what we're going to do is you're going to trim leave a 1/2 inch around all these different areas. You know what I did not cut is that little angled section right here. I just skipped right past that. And we're gonna cut that off too. And then everything else is gonna be trimmed a 1/2 inch. So I flip my trimmer by George over, line that basting stitch up with the 1/2 inch mark, and then trim it away. This edge, which is the bottom that we already cut a 1/4 inch, we're just going to leave that exactly like it is. We're done with that one. And then it's a 1/2 inch around the whole thing.
Just when I think I know exactly how to use the trimmer,
I know.
do something cool and different.
So then 1/2 inch on the final side. So now we have our fabric that's on the back is trimmed a 1/2 inch on these sides, and then a 1/4 inch through both layers there. So that's what it looks like now. So now we're going to do a little move over to the ironing station. And what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some pressing. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a nice mitered corner right there. So let us move a couple things around.
And Lynda, I'm seeing a couple questions that I know you will know the answer to.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, and I don't know if you can see them too. One of them that I've noticed is it washable, the basket washable? Because you know, like with Battleizer and the quilts, yeah, you can wash it. There's a way to do it. Don't dry it. What about baskets?
Definitely, I believe you can wash it. Now, when we go to do our video where we put it together, we do put a little stiff interfacing like a Timtex or Peltex inside, but that's also washable. So I think I would wash it and maybe let it air dry, but it should be just fine.
Okay, wonderful. And then the other question I'm seeing, I've never heard this question before. Could you use parchment paper instead of tearaway or no?
I saw that question and I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know why you would use parchment paper instead of tearaway. I don't understand why you would. I wouldn't want to leave that in there permanently.
Okay. Maybe Barb just has some at home and so she thought, I have a really good cauliflower pizza recipe. Parchment paper for them. All right, Annie's already ready, so I'm not gonna share the screen with you. I'm gonna send you back over there and then we'll come back to this.
Okay, so now I am ready to go ahead and we're gonna start pressing and folding this. First thing, we're gonna start with that angled corner and you're gonna fold that in a 1/4 inch and just give that a good press. And we're gonna do the same thing over on this side. We're going to press in a 1/4 inch. And now we'll do this narrow edge. So you can see that this angled area is going to have, it's already kind of naturally do kind of a mitered thing. And it is towards the bottom of your box, so it's not something that's super noticeable. But this corner here, I'm going to press this in a 1/4 inch. And that corner is going to be up towards the top of your box, so it's going to be very, very noticeable. And that's why we're going to show you how to do a cute little mitered corner on there. I'm going to show you a finished one. This one turned out better, so I'll show you this one. But there's a little mitered corner that you can see there. And that's what we're going to do next on here. So to get our mitered corner, this is the front. I can tell because it's poofy because of the hoop shape. And this is how we pressed our backing fabric in a 1/4 inch. We're going to turn it back to the other side. And you are going to, it works better, I think, if you lay it flat. You're going to push these in so that your folded edges meet. And then you're going to lay it down like so. I feel like my fingers are in the way, but it's just laid down like that. And then you're going to give that a really good press. Okay, so there it is. It's pressed kind of like that. But when you open this up, you can see that there's a crease there. Now, I just had some eye surgery, so when I did this, I actually took, you can take your friction pen or something and you can mark where that crease is. Makes it a little bit easier to see that. So what you're going to do then is you will then take it and fold it like so, so that your folded side edge meets the top folded edge. I should probably mark this so that they can probably see it better, but there's a little crease right there. And that's where you're going to do some stitching back and forth. And I have one that is already done like that. Whoop. So you can see where the angled mark and the stitching is right there. And that makes a nice miter. And in the video, Lynda does a great job of explaining, you know, you did it right if when you pull this back, it lays nice and flat. Now, the next thing you need to do, can you hand me my little hoop scissors, which should be by the machine, is you need to cut that bulk away. So that sometimes can be kind of a scary thing to do. I'm going to do it anyway. It has to go. So you can see where the stitching is. I am just going to see if I can get a little closer for you guys. I'm going to cut fairly close to that, maybe even a little closer. But if you're concerned about anything at all, you can always grab a little bottle of fray check and fray check that seam. But now that that bulk is gone, we can turn this over and we will have a really nice mitered corner there. And that will look nice and finished on the outside of your nesting basket. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need to grab some Roxanne glue based it. Is it backwards?
It's upside down.
Oh,
there you go.
There we go. Okay, so that is the next thing you're going to need. So what you're going to do next is you're going to do the next fold. So it's like a double 1/4 inch fold. And I like to give it another good press. This was a couple days ago. It needed another press. And you're just going to press all along there. And then you're going to get to that little mitered corner. And then you can take your glue bastings, your glue, and it has a nice fine tip to it. And you're just going to put dots of glue on there. This stuff is awesome. And then you can take it and press it again, and that will keep it in place until you can get it over to the sewing machine and even longer. I should probably turn my steam off. And then you're going to do the same thing all around there. So let me do this area too. I'm going to actually, Lynda, would you say I should do this angled corner first? I'm trying to remember what you said on the video.
Yeah. I would do the angled corner first. I think it'll all go together better.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're doing
a great job.
You're doing a great job, Annie.
Thanks, Lynda. Thank you. Okay, so then I got that glued down, and then I can do my top edge with my mitered corner. I'm going to press it first and then add glue and press again. I got there and I thought, I think I was supposed to do that first.
How the heck did you guys come up with this? This is awesome. Someone's asking the name of the glue.
Okay, I'll show you again. Whoops, sorry. Roxanne glue based it. It's a temporary basting glue for sewing. It's used a lot. I think it was probably invented for applique, but you can use it for so many things. All right, since it's been a while since this has been pressed, a few days, I'm going to press it. That's my first 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to fold it over and do another press. Ooh, too much steam. Yikes.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, Catherine says Amazon has the glue-based it, but so should your local quilt shop.
Yes. Support your local quilt shop. They'll love it. And you don't need a lot. I mean, this comes out in microscopic little dots.
It does,
And
it lasts forever.
It does. And when you iron, after you glue two pieces of fabric together, I mean, it just stays right in place and it's wonderful. So I have everything pressed on here, which is wonderful, but now I need to really sew it in place. So I'm just going to show you when that's already stitched. You're just going to edge stitch all around that. And this is the end result of what it looks like when it's finished. And there's the other side.
Fabulous.
I think it's time to turn it all over to Lynda.
All right.
Okay.
You want it on their other layout where your instructions are?
Yeah.
I think it's
There we
that.
go. Perfect. Okay. All righty. So I thought I'd go over a couple of things that were brought up yesterday. Someone asked if we could zigzag our scraps of hoop shape together like we do battleizer. And my response was, Annie and I both thought that it would compress the foam and maybe make it like a hinge-like effect. So that probably wasn't a good idea. So batting tape was suggested, which would work. However, I was thinking about this. You know how you're in the shower and you think about things? And I really don't think it's a problem because most of the time you're cutting big pieces. Like these are my templates, which by the way, someone asked how they were stabilized. I used a laminator. I have a wonderful employee at our store who decided to laminate these, and I thought it was brilliant. So as you lay these out and trace them, you can put them side by side. You need 4 of these. So you just put them side by side and you just keep going. So there's very little waste here. The same with these things. You can kind of nest them together a little bit. So I don't think you really need to be too concerned about excess waste of hoop shape when you do this. The pieces that Annie demoed yesterday, these you just cut rectangles, so there'll be no waste there. So I just thought I'd point that out. And Annie, you're right. I did make notes while you were talking about questions, and Aubrey asked them all, so that's good. We got those all taken care of.
Good. It's not just me.
No, but normally I make notes and then leave the note at home. So that's not good. So this morning I had a little free time, so I made myself a zipper pouch, and I didn't have enough fabric for the one side, so I put a little piece in there. I put my name on there. I thought I'd show it to you. This is the large zipper pouch. The zipper's applied right in the hoop. It's all lined. So isn't it cute? Just had to show it off.
Super cute.
And on the instructions for the zipper pouch, there is a QR code for a video. So we suggest you watch that. It has, if you've never made a zipper pouch in the hoop before, you have to do some fun stuff on the front of the hoop and on the back of the hoop. So it's a good idea to review that video. Okay, so my portion of today's program is sewing your A1. No, I'm sorry, A2, A3. You have your B2 left. The B's are the very bottom of your basket. So you have your B2 left, your B3 right, or B2 left, B3 left, B2 right, B3 right, and then you have C2 and C3. So this is all laid out for you in the instructions, in case I just confused you. But there's your layout right here. It tells you exactly how to lay it out. So we're going to pin these together just like we do any of our other blocks. So I have left to do C2 and C3. They're going to be right sides together. And we'll just go through the pinning process. You want to put a pin right through the corner of both your blocks, right into that corner. And then give it a nice pinch to hold that pin nice and tight. And then you want to take a second pin and put it in the seam allowance just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite corner. Put the pin through both of them and pinch that. And then I'll find somewhere along here that has a match point. So maybe that little, actually, this is such a short seam. I'm not going to be too concerned about matching up the quilting. It should do just fine. So I'll put a pin right on that basting line right there. And I'll peek underneath and put it right on that basting line and give it another pinch. And Aubrey, I'm going to take this over to the machine and sew it. So if you have something to do while I'm doing that, you can go ahead and do it.
I do. I'm sorry. Andy has just cracked me up. I'm crying, so I apologize. I'm glad you can't see us right now. Okay, I'm gonna get it together here. Sorry. The baskets. Back to the baskets. There's 3 sizes in here. That does come with the PDF written instructions, multi-formatted. We actually have nice videos, so you don't have us laughing so hard that we might wet our pants. That's all included in there too. So you can get this, all 3 of the baskets, either digital download or on USB for just $49.99. Lynda looks like she might be ready because we had a laughing fit for 5 minutes. So I'll get it back to her quickly.
So I did hear laughing in the background, but I'm used to you guys doing that. All right, so here's my theme, and you're going to tell me later what was going on. Here's my, all of my quilting is nicely matched. So now I'm going to just sew these 2 together. By the way, when I was pressing these, you want to press your seams on one of them. I've got the seams going up, this one down, this one up. So you want to make them opposite. So this last one, it's going up. This one, I'll make sure it goes down. We'll put them right sides together. And then the first thing I want to match up is the intersection. So I'll put a pin right in that intersection through both of them. Give them a pinch. You guys muted yourself. I can't hear anything. You're laughing, I can tell. Then we'll do
Unmuted. We got it together. We're unmuted.
Okay. So then I'll do this corner. And then this is a little bit longer, so I'll put, I think, 1 pin in the middle. This is the small basket. So I think 1 pin is going to be fine. If you're doing the bigger files, you might want to do a couple. I'm doing the opposite corner. This is the same method that we join quilt block with. Okay, so I have 1 more seam to sew, Aubrey, so you can tell us a joke.
Okay. All right. So I did mention the price on just if you're doing the download in USB. And again, I want to remind everyone that we will have an extra workshop next Wednesday. Since this is a little bit different than, quilts, runners, all that kind of stuff, we're going to have an extra assembly workshop next Wednesday, September 20th at 2 p.m. as well. So just know that. I also see Vicky ordered yesterday and her order shipped. So that's awesome. She's excited about that. And we will tell you, we've shown you throughout 2 days now that we're using our hoop shape foam stabilizer instead of battleizer in this project. This is an amazing price point, and it's also an awesome product. It's going to give your baskets the stability and structure that you want. So we've bundled this, and we like to do introductory pricing when we do bundles during our launches. So you're not going to spend the $64.94 that it would regularly be if you purchase this before end of day next Wednesday, the 20th. the introductory bundle price is going to just be the $58.45. So $58.45, and you're going to get the hoop shape, or $49.99, and you get just the design. So the bundle has the USB of the design, and it also has the foam stabilizer. Okay. Where am I going? Right here. There you go, Lynda.
Okay, so here we have it all stitched together. So our next step is to take this little piece here and use it as your pattern to cut out your basket lining. So you'll just put it, I'll make it upside down so you can see a little better. You'll just put it on your extra lining fabric and you'll cut it out exactly the same size as this. And from that point, if you want to do a monogram, you can go ahead and do that. This Hoop Sister little monogram is included on your either your download or your USB, or you can, Annie put her name on there. You can put the remote basket, whatever you decide to do. So what you'll do, the way you'll place that is you'll take your lining piece that you cut out to the same size, and let me do it this way. I laid it over the top and I pulled it down a little bit and I made marks where, hopefully you can see those marks from my Frixon pen, where my seams are. And I also marked my center. And on this side, I marked where my seams are and then also my center. And I drew those in. And then I measured the center here, and that is where I placed my embroidery design. So once you get that ready and this ready and all the pieces that we talked about yesterday and today, then you're ready to assemble.
Perfect. And assembly we're doing next week, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am,
Oh.
we are.
No, I'm not muted.
Okay.
It's just a delay. All righty. So again, and Barb pointed out I spelled bundle wrong. So your introductory bund price is $58.45 for the bundle, and the bundle includes hoop shape and the USB. So if you want, you can also, if you get the bundle or have $58.45 or more in your cart, you would have access to the bundle bonus. So the bundle bonus looks like it's $15 on the website, but if you add the bundle and then also add the $15 zipper pouches, you can use coupon code basket bonus at checkout, and it'll take $15 off. So I've seen a lot of people doing that. It takes their order from like $73 to $58.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
so it's a good deal. And then of course we do have the free gift, which is the luggage tags. If you guys are not sure how to access that, speak up and I will show you. If I don't hear anything, I might not show it, just for everyone's time's sake. So if you have not yet accessed your free gift and you're not quite sure how, let us know. And then Vicky asked if we could also ship her time, and I don't even know what we would charge for something like
I
that.
don't know. It's pretty valuable.
Yeah,
I think time is available at your local quilt shop.
there you go. There you go. And then of course I'm really excited about this one because this particular project has a lot of videos available. We do have QR codes on the instructions. So once you get it in the mail or download it, you'll have access to all of those. Okay.
And Wanda wants to know, if you purchase from your local quilt shop, will you get the same price? It is entirely up to the quilt shop what the pricing will be.
Yeah, we let them know what our introductory price is going to be, and they're welcome to do that if they want to, but it's 100% up to them.
Mm-hmm.
They do have the bonus, and they do have the free gift items as well. So you can do this one of two different ways, but honestly, the bundle is the best value for sure. It's at just $58.45. It's not that much more than the $49.99. And don't forget the coupon code basket bonus. And then we also, again, have that assembly workshop in the videos. So I think that's great. Should we tell them why we were laughing so hard?
Yeah, why not? Because it could happen again at any moment.
Why don't you explain why?
Well, I was walking on the other side of the table where Aubrey is, so she could see me. And I walked out here, took a step, instantly had a toe cramp. So I sat down on the ground, started rolling around the ground, kicked off my shoe and held my toe. And she lost it.
Well, it's like if you're in church or in
Yeah.
school and like something kind of funny happens and you know you shouldn't laugh, like you're supposed to keep it together. And she's like in this nice outfit and just like rolling on the floor, grabbing her foot. I'm like, what is happening right now? Yeah.
Yeah,
It was way funnier if you would have seen it. I should have just turned the camera.
I will say the rolling part, I kind of add a little drama just to get you laughing. But
Thanks, Mom.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
All right. Are there any questions? Oh, I don't know. Someone asked, do you know how much weight the small basket can hold? I don't know that we know that.
We do not know that.
Unless Lynda knows something we don't.
I've got my medium basket full of a lot of fat quarters, and I could
You do.
I could put more in there. There's a lot of them in here, and it's I don't know what it weighs, but
I think
look
what
at I
they
could
don't
put more in there.
realize right now, Lynda, and they'll find out later on next Wednesday, is that the way it's assembled, there's also a little piece of Timtex that will be
Right.
added there that gives a little bit more stability, even more than what the hoop shape already does.
Right. So you won't get a saggy bottom.
Too late.
They should make underwear with that stuff.
Yeah.
Sarah, Joan asked, how is Sarah and the baby coming along?
She's still cooking.
Bun is still in the oven till November 9th.
I feel like
or
I have
around
hot
there.
flashes every day. But
She keeps saying it's super hot in here, and I'm like, I'm not feeling that. I think it's you. Okay. So I do have a giveaway today. Do you two have anything else you want to share before I do a giveaway?
Nope.
And did anyone say they need to see how the free gift works? Should I show it? What?
I have one thing to point out. Harry and Barb said next time point the video at Silly Annie. I think that would have been great.
Oh my gosh. She probably would have killed me. She's smaller than me, but she can be scary sometimes. All right. Go ahead and pop the word hoop shape, all one word. If you haven't already, pop that in there and I will share my screen and draw a winner. And if you have any questions, again, please let us know. I would keep in mind, someone is saying that the zipper pouch file didn't have a certain format. And I think we looked into that this morning. Yep. We did look into that this morning and it is there. So occasionally with downloads, sometimes files just become corrupt during the download process. So best advice would be delete the whole thing off your computer, the whole zipper pouch, just delete it all. Go back to the download on our website and just re-download it. And most likely it will be there because it is there on our end.
Could have just paused during the download and didn't finish or something.
Yep. Okay. So that's that. Now I'm going to share a winner real quick because we are giving away some store credit. So let's share my screen and we will pick a winner. And if it's Nina, we're going to draw again. All right, here we go.
Pick me.
If it's Lynda, we're going to draw again too. Heather Bell, congratulations, Heather. She's a shop. All right, so let's give Heather $25. But do you care if I hit the button again?
No,
all right, I'm gonna hit the button again. We're gonna give away another $25 in store.
Hit the button again.
By the way, Heather Bell, she's up in West Lorne, Ontario. Congratulations, Lynn. I see your name quite a bit. Thank you for joining us. Lynn and Heather, go ahead and email Nina at hoopsisters.com and let her know that you are the winner of $25 in store credit. But I did want to mention Heather Bell. She's been a shop with us for probably 15 years. And she's up in Canada. She is a nesting baskets shop, so she has it. So go check with her and she can hook you up if you are up in Canada. I think she might be the only shop up in Canada that has this one.
Wow.
So get in touch with her because I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak on her behalf, but I'm pretty sure if you're up in Canada, she would mail it to you too. So she's fantastic and we've worked with her for a really long time. So congratulations, Lynn and Heather. Okie dokie. Anything else that we should cover? No?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right. I can't wait to see all of the goodness that you guys create. Keep posting your tags, your zipper pouches, and eventually your baskets. And we will be back here live. Are both of you doing the assembly workshop? Who's doing
What
Yep.
we're going to do is we're both going to be on here, but the video is so extremely good that we're going to play a little bit of the video, take some Q&A,
Okay.
and walk through the
a
process
little.
that way. Just a little, not the whole time. So we're still going to be here with you.
Okay, perfect. And Heather Bell said she will
Absolutely.
ship. So if you are a Canadian customer, get with Heather because she can help you out. It's Heather Bell's Sewing Studio or Dye Studio. I think I've seen it both ways. So look her up. The tags part of the nesting basket download. No, the tags are a free gift. And in fact, I think I will show that. If you know how to access your free gift inside your registration, you don't have to stay on anymore because that's the only thing that we're going to cover unless a question pops up. You're welcome to stay, but that's the last thing we're going to do. And I can take it from here and show you how to access that. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Let me share my screen again. The screen share is like the most stressful part for me. All right. So to get the free gift, which is the luggage tag, you do have to have registered in advance of the workshop. If you did that, you're just going to come back to the website. In the top right-hand corner, it says sign in. So you will do that. You'll just use your username and your email and password. And that will take you right into your order history. Well, in my case, it took me to my cart because I never checked out. But since we're here, I think I'm going to show you real quick. Right here, it says coupon code. And so if you can see, my total is $73.45. And I have the bundle, which is the USB and the hoop shape. And I have the zipper pouch bonus. So $73.45. And I'm going to add the coupon. I think it was basket bonus. I think. Apply. And voila. My order total goes from $73.45 to $58.45. So that's how you enter your coupon code. You just have to click apply and it'll put it in there. So since I had that order, that's what it did. Typically, once you sign in, if you don't have a full cart, it'll take you right to your order history right here. And to get back to that, I just clicked the My Account button, okay? So my registration, you can see the little picture here, might look familiar. So I'm just going to click my order number. And once I do that, I do need to go one step further. Typically, if you're like, there's nothing in there, you just need to go one step further. If you see the brown box with the white down arrow, you know you got to go one step further. Think of download when you see that. And then voila, it takes you right here, luggage tag final.zip. You just click that and it'll start the download process. And it will take you back. It'll download to wherever your downloads go on your computer and you'll be good to go. So I hope that was helpful. Haven't seen it in your account yet. If you registered, Barb, it's in there under the order. You might have typed that right before I showed that, but hopefully what I just showed you helps. I just showed you where to go to get that. Yeah, the tags are super cute. I have put the coupon code in the last two orders and I am going to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Barbara, sometimes PayPal and the website doesn't really like each other. If you're having issues with it, just give us a call. In fact, I'm going to pop up Nina's contact information. And if you're having a problem, give her a call. She can always try to do it for you over the phone. But if you're doing PayPal, she's not going to be able to run a PayPal. But she can refund you. So if you process it, so just get in touch with her. You guys can figure out the best way for you. I think too, one time we noticed you have to put the code in before you hit the PayPal. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know. You can call Nina and see if you can't figure it out with her. Thanks, Jan. She said, great demonstration. So, okie dokie. I think we did it.
I think we did. Till next week.
Till next week.
All right.
All right.